In this video, we're going to be talking about how Enhanced Autopilot works. And there's no driver in that car, by the way, just in case you was wondering.
So as you can see, I finally have Enhanced Autopilot. Autopilot comes in at around £3,500, which is about half price of the full self-drive capabilities, which with Enhanced Autopilot, the car now navigates on autopilot, auto lane changes, auto parks and summons. What I'm going to do in this video is show you a few different scenarios, show you my experience of what happened.
All you need to summon your Tesla is a smartphone. iOS, if you saw the last video, you know exactly what I'm using. All right, so we're going to the Tesla app. If we look just here, we hit summon. Let's try and get it to work. So we've got two directions we can press from, forward or reverse. So we're gonna hit forward.
So Smart Summon definitely does have its perks, especially if you're someone that has a really small garage or a really tight driveway. It's easy just to line the car up, put it in position and just get it to reverse or drive forward. That enables you to avoid damage to the doors when you do open in tight spaces. Not just in driveways and garages, also in parking bays, in shopping centers and car parks, it can be very useful. As you can see here, I used summon to summon the car from the car park. I was going to try and get it through the barrier, but then my nerve kind of went and I wasn't sure if that was the best thing to do. But as you see, it can be convenient and be used for many different things, depending on what you're into. With all the positive being said, there was a few slight negatives. Going backwards was smooth and it worked every single time. Going forward, on the other hand, was a bit of a trick. Positioning is everything, especially when going forward. If you're in the wrong position, if you're standing too far in front of the car, Smart Summon won't work. If you're standing too far away from the car, Smart Summon won't work. I found, for me personally, it could be different for you, but standing on the driver's side at roughly a 2-meter distance, it worked every time.
So amongst the other features that Enhanced Autopilot can do, you can do Autopilot Navigation. So that's what we're going to test out. So as mentioned, there is an option to navigate on autopilot. As you just see here, just on the screen, we've put in a location where we want to go, hit navigate on autopilot, and then put it into autopilot.
Auto navigation was definitely an experience for me. I think there are big benefits to it, and I do see the logic behind it. I think it's a great tool to have. I do feel like the roads in the UK sometimes don't help the auto navigation because some of the road markings are not the greatest. So I think that is a point to point out to Tesla UK, is just be wary that some roads the marking is not the best. And in saying that, that tends to mean that autopilot tends to lose its functionalities and it's not sure whether to drive forward or not. Especially when you come up to things like roundabouts and stuff like that, it definitely is not comfortable going around roundabouts. And it instantly demands you take control of the wheel. For those that may ask, Autopilot Navigation does recognize speed limits. Autopark is exactly what it says on the tin. Whether it be parallel parking or bay parking, the car will always adjust itself to match the lines and markings that it has drawn out. To activate Autopark, all you need to do is drive past your chosen space. Put your car into reverse and then you should see the auto park sign come up on the screen. Hit start, you should see the blue box and the car will then automatically reverse into the blue box. During the period of it reversing into the blue box, it will adjust itself just to make sure that it's straight and within the lines. Once the car has adjusted itself and reversed and fully entered the space and it is happy with it, there will be a notification on the screen that will say complete, and the car will then beep just to notify you that the auto park has now been done.
So, just hanging over the line slightly, just a little bit. And there's enough room on this side as well. And as you can see here, perfectly within the line. Parallel park time, right, here we go. Press start, hands off, we are parallel parking. Actually, let me hold this wheel because I have a feeling this is gonna curb. We in. All right, it's adjusting itself. Here we go. Boom. That's it, okay. Okay, so we parked using Autopark for the parallel park, and if we just look here, the gap is quite big. I think if I did that on a driving test, I'd definitely fail. But let's have a look here. We're straight, so we're outside the box, so it didn't do as good as it's supposed to do.
So the question that you're probably all asking is Autopilot really worth it? For me, personally, I would say yes, it is a great tool to have. I definitely feel that navigating on Autopilot is an interesting one. I definitely feel it does work a lot better when there is a car in front of you because it kind of gauges the speed limits, and you know, if the person in front slows down or you know goes a little bit faster, it kind of mimics the car in front, and it always keeps a safe gap, which is pretty good. I do feel like when it's not got anything in front of it, it can lack a little bit. There's room for improvement, most definitely. Another point to add to that, I definitely do feel like it can approach turn-ins, bends and roundabouts way too quickly. For me personally, I wouldn't approach those kind of scenarios at that speed as fast as the car thinks it can take it. However, that is something which is a minor workaround, and I feel like if that was improved and tightened up, then navigating on Autopilot would definitely be a thing that more people would use. Autopilot navigation is definitely something I would use more in the future, you know, especially on long distance journeys. I think it'd be more beneficial on long journeys rather than short in-town, in-city journeys. I'm not quite sure if this is the future of driving. However, I definitely see a lot more people wanting to use these options. Saying that, auto navigation still does require you to have 100% attention on the road. Keep your hands on the wheel at all times just to make sure that you can take over if anything was to go wrong. There are still a few faults, I guess, and you know, issues that need to be ironed out, or even improvements that need to be made. So that would require you to be on hand at all times. So when it comes to Autopark, I definitely feel that's something I would definitely use again when it comes to a bay parking scenario. Literally smashed it for me. I think it landed perfectly within the lines and it adjusted itself perfectly, and it gave me enough room to get out and enough room for my passengers to get out. However, I think in terms of parallel parking, I don't know if I'd use it again. It doesn't park close enough to the curb, or as close as I would like to park anyways. And it kind of leaves part of the car sticking out in the road, which kind of lets me feel a bit nervous and on edge. For me, that point there is a priority area for improvement, and that would be great to see in a new update. You know, it kind of navigating and engaging in the curb a bit better. That brings me on to Smart Summon. Smart Summon, again, that's another great feature. Just like the rest of them, I do feel like they're all really good features with small improvements required. Smart Summon, going forward, like I said before, it can be a bit fiddly, a bit of a trick to kind of figure out where you need to be to get it to work correctly. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that or if it was just me, but that definitely needs to be improved if it's something that people want to use for day to day, you know, on a regular day, you know, somewhere in your car out your drive, or out of a parking space if it's too tight. I do get the idea behind it, and I do think it's a great idea personally. Going backwards, I mean, would I park my car using that? Probably not, but I do like the idea. Enhanced Autopilot as a whole, do I see this as the future of driving? I can see more people using it, however, I don't see it as the future of driving. I think there are some improvements that definitely need to be made in order for it to be something that people use more commonly and have full trust in, especially when it comes to approaching corners and roundabouts. It needs to judge the speed a bit better for me personally. But let me know what you think down below. That wraps up this video for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that and it helped you decide whether you're going to get Enhanced Autopilot or not. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit the like button, share this video as well. Also comment down below, because that does great stuff for the channel and for my videos. Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one.